Now, when the Monster was first introduced in 1993, they came basically just in air-cooled form, and they always had an old-school lumpy sort of feel. In the early noughties, you could buy liquid-cooled models, and in fact I've got a Monster S4RS with a 999 tester shredder engine at home, and they always had a bit of a raspy, edgier feel. The latest liquid-cooled 1200 Monster is really the best of both of those types of engines. Now you can see that styling-wise, it does hold a few cues from the past, but it is quite a departure. It still uses a trellis frame, but it's once again quite a bit different to every other Monster that's come before it. One thing is for sure, this is more superbike than ever before. The first thing I really noticed about the new Monster 1200 when I sat on it was that you sit in the bike. Every other Monster I've ridden before, you tend to sit on the bike. The seat can be adjusted to two heights, so it's got 810mm and 785mm. It's easy to do. Fully fueled, the bike weighs a shade over 200 kilograms, so it's easy to push around in traffic, low speed, it's fine. There's two different models. You've got the standard Monster 1200 or the S model, which this one is. Now the standard gets 43mm Kayaba fully adjustable forks, and it gets a Sachs single shock on the rear, which is adjustable for preload and rebound damping only. Now the S gets Öhlins front and rear, massive 48mm forks, fully adjustable, single shock, fully adjustable. The engine pretty much just comes straight from the Multistrada. It's the tester shredder 11 degree. For 2014 it's been updated in the ECU department, so it's now smoother than ever before. The S has 145 horsepower, the standard has 135. Well, that's enough for a technical overview, but what's it like to ride in the real world? Well, I've had this bike for 2 weeks. I've come away very impressed. The suspension is the best I've ever sampled on a Monster. I've been critical of suspension in Ducatis in the past of being too hard. You know, take the Multistrada out of that, it's sort of designed for crap roads. It's almost like they've taken the suspension off the Multistrada 1200S and plonked it straight on here. Perfect for me. It handled everything that I threw at it. Riding down the road, normally you're bracing yourself for big impacts, not on this bike. In the corners when I was riding harder, the front end started to squirm a little bit. That was okay. I just increased the compression damping a bit, took that out, and now I've got it with a great compromise. You know, it still will squirm around a bit if you're pushing very hard, but that's fine by me because it can tackle the big bumps. It's pretty technically advanced too. There's 3 riding modes to choose from. So you've got urban, touring and sport. 8-level traction control, great for a day like this, it's raining of course. 3-level ABS. And when you select each particular riding mode, the bike does have its default settings for ABS and traction control. This is all part of the Ducati safety pack which is on this bike. In urban, 100 horsepower, softer throttle response down low. As you go up into touring and sport, it gets more and more. And you can get in there and tailor these specifically to suit yourself. So you could have, theoretically in touring, full power, full initial throttle response, less traction control, intervention and so on. But for me, I like just how Ducati sent it to me. In sport, bang, you can loft the front wheel if you so desire. In urban, 100 horsepower is plenty. Touring, great. I like that little bit of softer throttle response down low. It was easier to ride. I think overall, the whole mechanical package on this bike is awesome. The front brakes, the big monoblock, 4-piston Brembo calipers, loads of power and feel, awesome engine, even better suspension. Simply put, this is the best Monster I've ever ridden.
The Ducati Monster 1200S produces about 145 horsepower, costs $23,990 plus government and statutory charges, and you can get a lot more information from ducati.com.au.